The Weekly Run is the Salt Lake Tribune's weekly newsletter on all things Utah Jazz. Subscribe here. New Orleans. While many Jazz fans came away from Monday's shocking loss to the lottery-bound Pelicans feeling discouraged, and why shouldn't they, considering how outsized every outcome seems during the stretch run of the regular season? Some others are choosing to see the silver lining in it. No less than Dan Devine of the nationally known website The Ringer has seen what the Jazz have done in 2019, including that Pelicans loss, and wonders in an article out Wednesday morning, are the Utah Jazz the NBA's sleeping giant? While he doesn't outright dismiss the defeat to New Orleans as nothing, it's hard to shake the images of Jrue Holiday putting the clamps on Donovan Mitchell, Julius Randle bulldozing Rudy Gobert, and the sub-.500 Pelicans having their way with playoff-bound Utah. He also argues that the game's first 40 minutes highlighted a ball-sharing, floor-spacing, three-point bombing attack, and that the larger sample should carry more weight than the smaller one, especially because the former is very much of a piece with how the Jazz have played for the better part of 2 months. Among Devine's reasons for optimism about the Jazz, the fourth-best winning percentage in the NBA since Jan. 1. Utah ranking, second in the league in points allowed per non-garbage time possession. The Jazz's big uptick in three-point makes, and playing with extra shooters freeing Donovan to attack the rim more often and get to the free throw line. Given all of that, plus a soft closing stretch to the season, which begins tonight with a rematch against the Pelicans at the Smoothie King Center, Devine is encouraged by the Jazz's chances, though he does leave off with one parting warning: that's the thing about winnable games, you've still got to, win them. Andy B. Larson, feel free to call him Blarson, everyone does it. And I are always busy trying to bring you as much Jazz coverage as possible. We're both at every home game, and one of us is at every road game. I'll have some beignets for you today. We know you crave tons of Jazz coverage, but we also know that, because the Jazz aren't your job, you might not get to everything you meant to. Here's another chance, though. Among the things Blarson and I have written in the past week, as you saw from that Ringer story, there are plenty of other people writing interesting stuff about the Jazz, too. Here's a few more things that might tickle your fancy. A bunch of former Jazz players, Darrell Griffith, Mark Eaton, Memo Okoro, Brian, don't call him Byron, Russell, Thurl Bailey, and Corey Crowder, got together last week to swap stories about the team. You can get the Alumni Roundtable at utahjazz.com. And, just because it's funny to me, you should check out the Instagram stories of Rudy and Jay, in which they offer their respective perspectives of the latter acting as a ride-share driver for the former. Georges Niang is also involved. 3 of the Jazz's 4 games in the next week or so come on the road. Tonight, as previously mentioned, they're in New Orleans versus the Pelicans. This 2-game trip also includes a Friday stop in Memphis, against the very new-look Grizzlies. On Monday, they're back at Vivint Arena to try to salvage something from the season series against the Thunder, and next Wednesday is a road one-off in Phoenix against the Suns.